Hello everyone, Space Oyster here, and welcome to my next Let's Play, Fire Emblem, The Binding Blade, Randomized. Yeah, I've recently found a randomizer after getting back into Fire Emblem once again. I used to play this game a lot in high school, and yeah, randomizing this game, so much fun. Anyways, my evil plan for this playthrough is, well, it's a mostly pretty light randomizer. I did not change much of anything about it. The only thing I randomized were the characters' classes, and I left the thieves alone because I didn't want to have to deal with them being different classes. But I did allow cross-gendered classes, so like guys can be in girl-exclusive classes and vice versa. I did that to allow the maximum number of possibilities to get a healer early on. I don't really want to have to try and do this game without an early game healer. Anyway, not the point. The point is, yeah, I recently got back into Fire Emblem after I found the channels for Mangs and Mecha. They do really good stuff, Fire Emblem related stuff, and after discovering their channels, I ended up doing a, I ended up trying to get back into the game, and more importantly, I've been trying to play the game better than what I used to in high school. In high school, I was complete crap at Fire Emblem. I'll give you examples as I come to them in this game, but yeah, suffice to say, I had never played this Hector hard mode before. I don't think I ever even tried Elliewood hard mode, although I've heard it's pretty easy, so that doesn't really matter. Anyways, I am excited to get started, so let's go ahead and jump on in. I did do a practice playthrough, which is why I have a resume and a restart chapter. I'm going to go ahead and just hit restart, go over the suspended file, and, yeah, so, let me jump into my character details first. My plan with giving you character details, I'm not going to give you an overview on how good or bad the unit is and all that stuff. Since I didn't change the growth rates, I really would only be copying information I've gotten from other sources about how good or bad a unit is, and I'd basically have to make a decision on their based on their different bases. So Hector here, for example, his bases, they all seem to be a lot lower than normal. Since a lot of Hector's bases are a lot lower than what they usually are, like he's significantly weaker and a bit slower, and nowhere near as resilient, this is definitely going to be a tough first chapter for him. You really gotta improvise and come up with something else to get through here. So Hector is definitely worse off than he was before, and this is Hector hard mode, so yeah, the enemies are not going to be pulling any punches. It's a nightmare trying to get through this, but I found a actual workable strategy. I did not have to open up Nightmare or anything like that. Anyway, so I'm just going to give you my opinion on whether or not I think their new class is an upgrade or a downgrade for them. And in the case for Hector, I am actually going to label being changed to a mage as a downgrade for him. While it is nice that he'll be able to, that he does have a perpetual 1-2 range, and he's going to be hitting the resistance stat of most enemies, which is usually their lower stat. That really gives Hector some pretty big those gives Hector some small advantages. However, his significantly worse bases are really going to screw him over in the early game. It's gonna be fun. Okay, anyway. Our other unit here is Matthew. I really don't have to say much about Matthew, since I left the thieves alone for this. He's basically unchanged. So I'm gonna be relying on Matthew for his usual things, picking locks and all that stuff. I know it's not really going to be very interesting to not change up the thief classes, but I honestly, this is going to be my first attempt at a Hector hard mode run, and I did not want to go through it without a thief. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump on in. So I'm going to have Hector and Matthew start to break down the wall. Not Pink Floyd's The Wall, just a wall. Oh, I forgot to speed everything up. Okay, okay. So, options. I'm going to do solo, so that way I can turn off specific animations if I want to. If a character, when you randomize the classes, the characters actually end up, sometimes their sprites end up hideous. It's especially noticeable for generals and knights. Generals and characters get changed into those. Or Pegasus Knights. Oh boy, Pegasus Knights usually look horrible. Anyway, I want to keep the animations on. I know they're not the most popular thing, but since I'm randomizing the characters' classes here, I figure it's a good idea to leave them on so that way you can visually see all these differences. Anyway, I'll definitely have to handle this first chapter very differently than what you'd normally expect from a Hector hard mode playthrough. Normally, Hector can just handle all these enemies himself, but since he's a lot more frail, I'm gonna have to be a bit more unorthodox. I did manage to find something that works pretty reliably, so I am excited to show that to you. I think it's a clear sign of me actually getting better at the game. Although these archers having crit rates, that scares me. That scares me a lot. It's the worst thing about this part. Okay, so Hector is going to break down the wall now, and Matthew will move forward and steal this vulnerary. Perfect. Okay, not so perfect. Not so perfect. When I was practicing this chapter, Matthew actually got a crit there. Or, not Matthew, but Hector did. And I don't want to have to rely on getting a crit. Okay. So... Normally I steal this thief's thing and then kill him. Well, not kill him, but you know what I mean. The red gem. But I think I can pull this off if I have Hector stand here, trade for the vulnerary. I should have practiced this a bit more. No, Matthew, why are you missing? Such a naughty, naughty thief. Okay. I'm actually going to take advantage of this thief's AI. He is programmed to go for all of those doors you see scattered about. So, now that this archer has moved here, I'm going to position Matthew to block him, just like that. Hector needs to finish this guy off. Hopefully he can do it. He did it. Okay, good. I probably should have waited to move Matthew until after. Alright, HP and skill, that's kind of horrible, but whatever. Anyway, now, the rest of these enemies, they're going to crowd around Matthew, and as long as I have him remain still, Matthew should be perfectly fine. All the enemies will stay right there, and Hector can stay over here and deal with the boss and this thief. So, with a little bit of luck, this is going to be something I can do. Let's go, Hector! I basically have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 2 more turns to kill the thief with a 71% hit rate. Woo! We did it! Well, in my practice run, I actually got a crit on that first archer, and I was able to get Matthew to steal the red gem. And then I had Hector kill the thief over here. Okay, so Matthew is going to keep those enemies distracted. They're not going to change up their formation. So Hector has a clear line to the boss, who only has an iron lance and a vulnerary. So Hector just has to kill him. I'm going to try Hellfires. Yeah. One thing I actually like about Hector is, well, this Fire Emblem in general, is that they were trying to actually break away from their conventional tropes that they'd been using in the series up to this point. Usually the protagonist is blue-haired, like Hector is, but for Fire Emblem 6 and 7, the main characters actually don't have that blue hair. They're actually, they actually have red hair, Elliewood and his son, Roy. And Hector here has blue hair, but Hector wasn't, well, the main character in the last game, and he's not the main character in this one either. Anyway, they also played around with other conventional tropes they normally do. Matthew, our early game thief here, he's not as Robin Hood-esque as other early game thieves that you normally get in Fire Emblem. And we'll basically see the other tropes they flip on their head. But basically, yeah, this one, they were trying to do a whole lot of things. Hector is a standout example of the Fire Emblem 7 Lords because, well, he's not the main character, but he has that blue hair that is common to Fire Emblem Lords. And Hector's personality actually influenced future Fire Emblem Lords from this point in the series forward. Hector provided a baseline for Ike in Fire Emblems 9 and 10, Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. And I think Hector also had a slight impact on Chrom, the main character of Awakening. So yeah, Hector surprisingly influential despite not being the main character. And he's not doing too bad as a mage, but yeah, this chapter was basically done the moment Hector killed the thief. Because this guy, Wire, he's not going to fight back for some odd reason. He only moves when he wants to use that vulnerary. I'm actually going to let Matthew get in an attack on this thief, just for a little bit of experience points. I do want him to level up a bit and get a bit more speed, so he can steal things later in the game. But for now, we're just going to give Hector the experience for killing Wire. Forgive me, Lord Nurgle, whoever that is. I cannot take the name Nurgle seriously ever since I watched Billy and Mandy. Well, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Like, Nurgle is supposed to be some sort of threatening person, but I just can't take it seriously. Phew, that was close. And I'm going to go ahead and call that an episode. If you haven't already noticed, I am going to skip story stuff. I don't want the game to glitch out and crash on me because I've got the classes randomized. So my evil plan is to skip the storyline related stuff so that doesn't happen. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Space Oyster, signing out.